Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. For today's box opening, we're going to go back to the Brothers War and crack open a draft booster box. So let's open this thing up and see what kind of value and what kind of retro artifacts we can see. So the Mox Amber from this set in schematic is still going for about $35. And in non-schematic going for about $33. That's the best hit that we could get, unless of course we get some crazy foiling going on. We do have 36 packs, so we got quite a few chances to see some value. So let's cross our fingers, get our piles nice and even, and let's get going. These do have the pull tab, so I'll go ahead and use those, which means that they are Japanese printed. So that means our tokens are right up front, and then our rares. So we got ourselves a soldier. We're going to see a steel exemplar. Then we're going to see an elsewhere flask, followed by a Hercules final meditation. And then we've got a reconstructed Thopter with a pyretic blast, flow of knowledge, combat courier, Rust Goliath, Gix's caress, a hoarding recluse, scrapwork mutt, military discipline, stern lesson, followed by Sotanual Stalwart. Then we're going to see Survivor of Corliss. All right. So there are a few uncommons from the main set that are valued over $1, but there are no commons. So I think what we'll do in the interest of time and in the interest of my voice is I'll just go through the first 5 or 6 cards in each pack, and then we'll just kind of skip the plain old commons, but I'll cover them in the MTG box analysis at the end of the video. All right, so we got ourselves a Power Stone, followed by an Ornithopter, and then we're going to see a Razor Lash Transmogrant, followed by a Steel Exemplar, a Gurgling Anointer, Go for the Throat, and then our commons in the back. So I think we'll just do all the rest of the packs like that and try and not make this a 30-minute video. All right, so we got ourselves a Thopter token, followed by a Panorama Mountain. Then we're going to see ourselves a Bone Saw, and we're going to see a Mishra's Command coming in as our rare with a Combat Thresher, an Alloy Animist, and a Mishra Excavation Prodigy. All right, we got ourselves a Punch Card token to start this one off. Then we're going to see ourselves a Gnawing Vermin in foil with a Psychosis Crawler coming in from the Retro Artifacts with a Kyla's Command coming in as our rare. Then we're going to see a Levitating Statue, Junkyard Genius, and a Thopter Mechanic. So the uncommons that we're looking for are going to be the Haywire Might coming in out of green as an artifact. We're also looking for a Third Path Iconolast, as well as a Demolition Field from the land cycle. So we got a blank card, followed by a full art Swamp. Then we're going to see a Black Blade Reforged coming in as our rare with a Titania Voice of Gaia. This is going to be a good hit, value just over $10. All right. Then we're going to see a Yoshin Frontliner, followed by a Mask of the Jadecrafter with a Serenith Steelseeker, and then our commons in the back. So there shouldn't be anything secret or elusive behind any of those common stacks, but if I do find something as I'm sorting through the cards, I'll be sure to let you know in the analysis. So we got the Power Stone, another Else Everywhere Flask, with a Queen Kayla Bin Krug, Hero of the Dunes, Obliterating Bolt, and then we're going to see ourselves a Gnawing Vermin. All right, got another blank card here with a Self-Assembler. And then we're going to see Ashnod Flesh Mechanist coming in as our rare with a Lauren Disciple of History, Mishra's Research Desk, and then a Static Neck as our third uncommon. Got ourselves a non-token token, followed by a Sigil of Valor. Then we're going to see Mishra Tamer of Makfawa coming in as a borderless rare. Then we're going to see an Audacity, followed by an Arbalest Engineers, and then we're going to see ourselves a Corrupt, followed by our stack of commons. Now, I guess one thing to note, if I do come across a really big hit, I'll probably continue to go through the pack, because I'll basically transform that pack into a short video. So we got ourselves a Power Stone here, followed by a Skitter Beam Battalion rare coming in as a foil, and then we're going to see ourselves a Howling Mine, followed by a Simulacrum coming in as a rare with a Sardinian Cliff Stomper, the Fall of Krug, followed by an Obstinate Baloth, and then our Cavalcade of Commons. Get that trash out of here. All right, so we got ourselves a Construct token, followed by a Sataniel Stalwart in foil. Then we're going to see a Pristine Talisman, followed by Hajar Loyal Bodyguard coming in as our rare, with a Mass Production, Take Flight, Thran Power Suit, and then our commons. All right, we got the Power Stone, followed by the Swiftfoot Boots, very useful. And then we're going to see the Temporal Anchor coming in as our rare, followed by a Steel Exemplar, No One Left Behind. And then we're going to see one uncommon valued over $1, the Third Path Iconolast, valued around $1.50. Then we get an Urza's Rebuff as our first common. And there's Teferi right there. Maybe he is the referee of the Brothers War. He is available in this set as the Temporal Pilgrim. We'll see if we can't find him. All right, so we have ourselves a full art swamp. I'm going to cover up Teferi so we don't have any focus issues. We got ourselves an Ivory Tower, followed by a Serenith Great Worm. Then we're going to see ourselves a Spotterthopter with an Involuntary Cooldown, Disciples of Gix, and a Veteran Power Blade. All right, so that takes us through stack number 1. We've got one card valued over $10, but not much other value so far. A couple of little hits here and there, but nothing giant. So we got ourselves a Power Stone with a Jalum Tome. Then we're going to see a Deathbloom Ritualist with a Sardinian Cliff Stomper, Defabricate, Go for the Throat, and then a Depth Charge Colossus as our first common. Let me know in the comments if you prefer this method. So if we do get some more Japanese packs where the commons are at the bottom, if skipping through it like this is okay. I totally obliterated the corner on the zombie token. Then we got ourselves a Whirling Strike in foil, followed by an Ichor Wellspring, then a Drafana, Founder of Latnam, with a Repair and Recharge, Ashnod's Harvester, and Monastery Swiftspear. All right, next up, we got ourselves the Power Stone with Full Art Forest. Then we're going to see a Maze Mime Tone, followed by Gwenna, Eyes of Gaia, with a Lauren, Disciple of History, Yoshin Tactician, and a Static Net as our uncommon. I'm just going to slide that uncommon pile over so I have a little bit of room, and we'll move into the next pack. All right, so we got a non-token token, followed by a Forest, a Foundry Inspector, and then we're going to see Myrel, Shield of Argive. This is going to be a really good hit at $14. Then we're going to see a Keeper of the Cadence, followed by a Serenith Steelseeker, a Gnawing Vermin, a Philagi Archaeologist, a Rock Hunter, a Retrieval Agent, a Thraxodemon, followed by Tassia's Dig Site, Mishra's Domination, and then we're going to see ourselves a Whirling Strike, Tanos Tinkering, and a Warlord's Elite. And let me just go ahead and clean up my the pile of cards that slid over here. All right, next pack. All right, so we got ourselves a Power Stone, followed by a Millstone, and then we're going to see a Gix's Command, followed by a Recruitment Officer, Philagi Dragon Engine, an Iron Claw Crusher, and an Argithian Sprite. All right, next pack's going to start off with one of these blank cards to support our double-sided cards. Then we're going to see a Mishra Excavation Prodigy coming in as a foil with a liquid metal coating. And then we're going to see a Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Very cool to see that. That, of course, is the bottom half of Mishra. And then we're going to see a Take Flight, followed by a Flow of Knowledge, and a Sushi Cave Guard. And a Goring Warplow as our first common. All right, this one kicks off with a Construct, followed by a Full Art Mountain. Then we're going to see a Gilded Lotus coming in, with an autonomous assembler, and then a meticulous excavation, Blanchwood armor, and a Thopter mechanic. All right, next up we got the Power Stone, followed by a foil Elsewhere flask. Then we're going to see a Chromatic Star with a Mishra's Foundry, followed by a Yoshin Descendant, a Battery Bearer, and an uncommon Haywire Mite valued over $1. Then we're going to see the Koilos Rock as our first common. All right, next up, Punch Card with a Soul Guide Lantern, followed by Tyrant of Care's Ridges with a Hulking Metamorph, a Demolition Field. There we go. There's an uncommon valued over $1. And then we're going to see a Giant Cindermaw with a Curate. All right, we got ourselves the Soldier, followed by the Goblin Blast Runner. And we're going to see Helm of the Host coming in as our rare. This is going to be a really good hit, valued just around $7. Then we get a second Mythic, one with the Multiverse, valued around $5. What a tremendous pack. And then we get a No One Left Behind, followed by a Cradle Clear Cutter, a Horn Stone Seeker, an Argithian Sprite, an Urza's Rebuff, a Scrapwork Mutt, Power Stone Fracture, followed by a Deadly Repose, a Gataxian Skullflare, Gnarlroot Pallbearer, and a Phalanx Vanguard with a Goblin Firebomb in the back. Very nice pack. All right, so we got ourselves a Power Stone with a Lodestone Golem. And then we're going to see Harbin Vanguard Aviator with a Slagstone Refinery. Then we're going to see a Heavyweight Demolisher with a Zephyr Sentinel coming in as our last uncommon. All right, moving into pack number 24 here. Got ourselves another blank card with a Quicksilver Amulet coming in as our rare, followed by a Tassia's Welcome, decent hit, value just over $2. Then a Great Desert Prospector, Skyfisher Spider, and a Calamity's Wake as our last uncommon, with a Retrieval Agent as our first common. All right, so we'll slide these over here. Almost went backwards. Make sure you stay tuned to the MTG box analysis at the end of the video, where I'll go over what we actually saw in this particular box, duplication, coverage of the set, the current set value, and then the actual observed value for the box. So we got ourselves a blank card with Meticulous Excavation in foil. And then we're going to see a Sigil of Valor, followed by Hercule Master Wizard. And then we're going to see a Yoshin Tactician, followed by an Urza Power Stone Prodigy, and an Arms Race. All right, another non-token token with an Ornithopter. Then we're going to see Argoth Sanctum of Nature. Very nice, from the land cycle. Then we're going to see a Hero of the Dunes with a Cradle Clear Cutter, and then a Disciples of Gix with a supply drop. So I'd like to either see an Awaken the Woods, an Urza Lord Protector, a Cityscape Leveler, or a Portal to Phyrexia. Or a Mox Amber would be fine. So we got ourselves a Power Stone, followed by a Burnished Heart. And then we're going to see an Urza Lord Protector. You ask and you get. That is very cool. This is a card valued just over $10. So we'll put him right up top for now. Then we get a Meticulous Excavation with an Audacity, and then an Obliterating Bolt. So I think I'm going to move our basic lands into our common pile, and that way we can feature our 3 big hits so far. And then I'll just do a little bit of pile cleanup. There we go. All right, awesome. Now we got 3 cards valued over $10. Can we get a 4th? Or dare I say a 5th? All right, we got the Golem, followed by the Island. And then we're going to see the Perilous Vault coming in as a mythic hit. And then we're going to see a Hall of Tagzin with a No One Left Behind, Thran Power Suit, and then Mishra Excavation Prodigy. I think we got another punch card leading this pack off with a self-assembler. And then we're going to see a Brushland coming in, value just over $2. Then an Argivian Avenger, Falaji Dragon Engine, and a Zephyr Sentinel. Who's excited for Lord of the Rings? Let me know in the comments. We got ourselves a blank card, followed by a Kyla's Command coming in a rare foil. Then we're going to see an Ornithopter, followed by a Llanowar Waste, very nice, value just over $1. And then a Girling Anointer with another Demolition Field. And then a Gruesome Realization as our last uncommon with an Evolving Wilds hiding in the back there. All right, next up, Power Stone. And then we're going to see an Aether Flux Reservoir. Very good hit, value just over $8. And behind that, we're going to see the Might Stone and Weak Stone, value just around $2. Followed by a Bushwhack. Then we're going to see an Involuntary Cooldown, a Falaji Vanguard, a Burrowing Razor Maw with a Machine Over Matter, a Tower Worker. Then we're going to see a Mishra's Domination, followed by a Killzone Acrobat, Power Plant Worker, Goblin Blast Runner, and then a Boulder Branch Golem with a Warlord's Elite in the back. Oh, and a Gitaxian Skullflare. Thought we were out of cards there. We had one more. All right, this one kicks off with a Soldier Token, followed by a Full Art Plains. And then we're going to see a Pristine Talisman with a Hostile Negotiations coming in as our rare from the main set, with a Slagstone Refinery, a Thran Vigil, and the Fall of Krug. I think we're down to 4 packs. All right, Power Stone, followed by a Prison Sentence in foil with a Runechanter's Pike. And then we're going to see Tassia Digsite Mentor with a Lay Down Arms, a Spectrum Sentinel, and a Third Path Iconolast. Again, another uncommon valued over $1. So far not the best box, but certainly not the worst box. I think we'll see probably a pretty even return, which is okay. Then I've got ourselves a blank card with a Springleaf Drum. And then we're going to see an Urza's Command coming in as our rare with a Falaji Excavation, an Evangel of Synthesis, and a Horned Stone Seeker. 2 packs remaining. Got another punch card with a self-assembler. And then we're going to see Gix Yawgmoth Praetor coming in. Another really good hit, valued around $8. Then we're going to see a Thopter Architect, followed by an Urza Power Stone Prodigy, and a Splitting the Power Stone. All right, final pack. What kind of value will we see in here? All right, so we got ourselves a Soldier, followed by a Perimeter Patrol in foil. And then we're going to see a Liquimetal Coating. And we're going to see a Painful Quandary coming in from the main set, followed by a Transmogrant Altar, another Haywire Might, and then we're going to see a Dream of Steel and Oil. All right, so give me just a moment. I'll get everything sorted, organized, and be right back with the MTG box analysis. We'll begin today's MTG box analysis by taking a look at the cards that we were eligible to obtain from a draft booster box and compare that to the cards that we actually saw today. We'll then review set coverage, coverage by rarity, and duplication. To establish a baseline for value, we'll analyze the value of the set and then break down the actual observed value in the box both by foil and non-foil. Finally, we'll conclude with a summary. If you want to go deeper into the analysis and see all of the metrics for this box and more than 100 others, simply join the channel at the Give Me the Data level. Let's get things started by reviewing the contents of the box in comparison to the cards that we were eligible to see. Using this chart, we can see the non-foils we observed in green, the foils we observed in orange, and the cards that we were eligible to see in gray as the baseline. In the non-foil space, we saw a variance of 8 cards between the primary colors of Magic, with green featuring 64 and blue featuring 72. We also saw 30 retro frame artifacts and 6 retro artifacts in the schematic artwork. In the foil space, we saw between 1 and 3 cards for each of the primary colors of Magic, except for blue, where we didn't see any foils. From the Retro Artifact subset, we saw a single foil schematic card in the box. Moving into coverage in the non-foil space, we saw 221 unique cards out of a possible 295 from the main set. This means that we saw 75% of the cards that we were eligible to see inside of today's box. Our highest coverage among the primary colors of Magic was in blue with 91%. Within the Retro Frame Artifact subset, we saw 41% of the Retro Frames and 10% of the schematic cards. Overall, we saw 32 unique cards out of a possible 126, giving us 25% coverage of the subset. In the foil space, we saw 11 of the 295 cards, giving us 4% coverage of the set. This time around, our highest coverage among the primary colors of Magic was a tie between white and red, each having 9% coverage. We saw a single schematic retroframe artifact for less than 1% coverage of the 126 cards in the subset. Pivoting to coverage by rarity, from the main Brothers War set, we saw 100% of the commons and 95% of the uncommons in non-foil. We also saw 30 rares for 43% coverage and 6 non-foil mythics for 24% coverage. In the foil space, we saw 5% of the commons and uncommons, along with a single rare for 1% coverage and a single mythic good enough for 4% coverage. In total, we saw 31 rares and 7 mythics from the main set inside these 36 packs. From the Retro Artifact subset, we saw 58% coverage of the uncommons, 8 rares for 13% coverage, and 3 mythics in non-foil for 10% coverage. This means that in total, this box contained 37 rares and 10 mythics in 36 packs. In today's box, we didn't see any duplication among the foils that we opened, but we did see 136 non-foils repeated 275 times for a box duplication rate of 55%. Before we take a look at the value in today's draft booster box, let's review the value of the cards that we could have seen. This chart shows all the cards from the main set and the Retro Artifact subset using non-foil market prices as of June 15th, 2023. Currently, there are 10 cards valued over $10. The top 3 are going to be the Portal to Phyrexia, valued at $21.17. Then we have the Standard Frame Mox Amber, valued at $33.81, and the Schematic Mox Amber, valued at $35.39. The set also features 13 cards valued between $5 and $10 and 64 cards valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 334 cards are currently valued under $1. If you were to add up the market value of all 421 cards using non-foil market prices, you'd be looking at a grand total of $482.05 in market value. Now let's review the actual value that we saw in today's box, starting off in the non-foil space. We ended up seeing 3 cards from the main set valued over $10, including Titania, Voice of Gaia, valued at $10.58, Urza, Lord Protector, at $10.90, and Myrel, Shield of Argive, valued at $14.74. We also saw 4 non-foils valued between $5 and $10, and 17 non-foils valued between $1 and $5. The remaining 504 non-foils in the box were valued less than $1. And in the foil space, we saw a total of 12 cards, but not a single one of them was valued over $1. Our most valuable foil was a Mythic Skitterbeam Battalion, valued at just 84 cents. So how did this box perform? Well, I purchased this box directly from Wizards of the Coast through a Festival in a Box promotion, which contained a ton of products. Therefore, we'll be using today's current market price as of June 15th for the summary, which is $83.51. Today's draft booster box contained 36 packs with 15 cards each, allowing us to see 540 cards. The 33 tokens that we saw have a current market value of $5.73. The 8 basic lands are currently valued at $2.72. The 345 commons that we skipped during the opening are currently valued at $12.22. The 138 uncommons are currently valued at $22.20, and the 39 rares have a current market value of $26.34. Finally, the 10 mythics are valued at $67.32. Add it all up, and the grand total for this box comes up to be $136.53 in market value, which is a gain of $53.02 over the market price for the box, which means that it returned 163% of the market price in card value. Now, for those of you interested in cards valued just over $2, the numbers look like this. In total, we saw 11 cards valued over $2 in this box, and they have a current combined value of $65.72, which means that those 11 cards represent 48% of the total box value. Thank you so much for watching. I want to take a moment to give a special shout out to all of the channel members. Your support helps fund this operation and allows me to create the content that you all enjoy. If you're not yet a channel member, I invite you to consider becoming one. By joining, you'll gain early access to videos and many other perks. If you're interested in supporting the channel but don't want to become a member, there are several other ways that you can show your support. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue with the channel. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, do something amazing.